Welcome to the Spotlight series on ClubTV.in, your gateway to stories that shape the future of business, innovation, and sustainability. Today, we shine the spotlight on a company that's not just building electric vehicles, but redefining the way India moves cleaner, smarter, and greener. This is the story of Omega Seiki Mobility and the visionary behind it, Mr. Uday Narang, from Wall Street to the street of India. And will you please introduce yourself?
Hi, my name is Uday Narang. I'm the founder and chairman of Omega Seiki Mobility, changing the world. And I think we're going to have a great time on this great podcast. Hi, my name is Uday Narang. I'm the chairman of Omega Seiki Mobility. Omega Seiki Mobility is a company that has been working on the front lines of green energy and sustainability for the last 7 to 8 years. We have come up with over 20,000 vehicles on the ground. We have built factories. We have built the village. वो village बनाना बहुत ज़रूरी है, where it's not just about building an OEM, it's about building charging infra, financing, customer service, parts, the whole 9 yards, as we say. And I think OSM has been a big part in the startup world. They've been the old OEMs, but we in a startup world, or as Bajaj says, upstarts, whatever you might want to call them, we've been out here, we've been putting vehicles on the ground, we are changing the face of mobility, and we are going to try to make India green and clean.
How did the idea for OSM first come to life?
The idea of OSM came, I was sitting in my office on Mount Street in London, and I thought, look, we've been working on Wall Street, working on commodities. I built companies across the globe. I want to make a change back home. 31 of the most polluted cities in the world are in our country. I'm a soldier. It's green energy and sustainability. I want to make a country which is more green and cleaner for our future generations. We built OSM on that basis. Omega Seiki has been completely bootstrapped by myself. I'm very proud to say we have our partner and an investor from XCD Corp Japan. Seiki in Japanese means precision. So we have, in our company, the culture. We don't address people as Mr. We basically call son. We build a Japanese culture. We build in precision. We work as a Japanese culture. We learned a lot from them. And so Omega Seiki Private Limited all came from our relationships with Japan and all the things that we learned from the Japanese over the years and wanted to institute that. The Japanese, the Maruti Suzuki has been around as a leading automobile player in this country, have been a big part of the change. And Japan has had an impressive record. And they've been real friends of ours through thick and thin. And that's what made me put Omega Seiki Mobility as a name. It was something that gave us that connection with Japan, which is the strongest. Suzuki-san just got the Padma Vibhushan. We can clearly tell you how much India cares. Yeah. And I think that's how we are.
Yes. What was your personal motivation behind starting an electric vehicle company in India?
Well, I think the most important part is that, to build an EV company in India, as I told you earlier, was to build a village, to be able to build products, to be able to build vehicles that are more greener and cleaner. If we want, Delhi has taken a huge step forward in this step. By 2027, everything's going to be green. And I think diesel, CNG's out. I think the vision that I had 7-8 years ago, and when we started this journey, there were not that many players. OSM was started to push that. And you know what? Whether OSM was a lead or not when I started, it was more about how do we convert one customer at a time. And I think you see all the big boys, the Bajajes, the Mahindras, the TVS, the Murugupas, everybody's in here. Even Hero's in here in the three-wheeler. We made three-wheelers sexy. Sorry, I'm using that word, but I tell you what, everybody wants to be part of the three-wheeler community. And this is not just about India. You said OSM Global. OSM is bringing, and I want to tell everybody, OSM is bringing products to Africa, to Asia, to Latin America, and all over this world. So it's thinking local acting global and making sure India's products are now matching global products. And you're right. That's where OSM Global comes in. And over the next, 3 to 6 months, you're going to see activity in the Middle East. You're going to see activity in ASEAN. You're going to see activities all across the globe of OSM putting vehicles, affordable vehicles. We are not putting BMWs and Mercedes. We are putting vehicles that are going to be done for the masses. I am a person who wants to change the masses. It's not about ये अमीरों की चेंज नहीं है, ये नीचे वाले हमारे देश में almost, the 1.4 billion people, out of that, a very large majority of people are here. They're not up here. And I think जब तक यहाँ change नहीं करेंगे, scale नहीं आएगा. Scale नहीं आएगा, तो green energy sustainability नहीं आएगी. And if green energy sustainability doesn't come, we're never ever going to be able to get where we need to be.
Yes, absolutely. How has your international experience shaped your leadership within the organization and which putting significant impact in your career?
I think obviously I've spent a very, very large part of my career internationally. I spent time in US and then I spent time in Europe. I have learned building companies. I've learned from failures. I've learned from successes. I think it gave me an opportunity to build. But you cannot just copy America and Europe in India. India or any part of the world has a different sort of dynamics to it. So you have to take the experiences. Ford and GM have never been successful in India because they use the same model and they come in and out. The Japanese, the Koreans have been super successful here because they take that model and they change it according to the customer needs. An Indian customer, an Indian consumer, whether it's a man or a woman, उनके taste बहुत different हैं जो अमेरिका में हैं. हमारे लिए vehicles are different than what they are for them. Our purchasing power is different. So it has taught me to different, in England we say different horses for different courses. कोई घोड़े मिट्टी में भागते हैं, कोई grass में भागते हैं, कोई cobbles में भागते हैं, बहुत different है. तो आपको, this country is a very diverse country. It's a big country. So I have taken those experiences, those advantages globally and brought them into India. And I think that's where OSM has been able to continually fight the big boys and girls. And that's where continuous development, R&D, new products, new designs, new technology, faster and much, much quicker. And that's OSM.
Great. My next question to you, sir. What vision do you have for India in EV's landscape? And how does OSM fit into that vision for India?
I want, I'm a big Martin Luther King fan. Martin Luther King, on his favorite speech, used to say, I have a dream. And I have a dream where this country, every vehicle is green, whether it's EV, hydrogen, whether it is, if you go with Toyota, they talk about hybrid. Whatever the vehicle is, it has to be non-ICE. It has to be clean. It has to be green. It has to be able to change, where the environment that we live in. So OSM has been part of that. I think more and more we are seeing states in India and globally understand that they need to make a change. They say change with the time or time will change you. I think if we care about our future generation, your kids, your grandma, my mother, my sister, we need to make sure that we don't leave a country, we don't leave a world, which is really, really, if you don't care about, we talk about Bharat Mata ki Jai. Agar you don't care about your Mata, which is the environment, then it's not even going to be, So I think for me, this is as important as protecting our borders. It is as important as building this country into the third largest economy or the third, most powerful nation in the world. We're already the fourth largest, economy in the world. We've got Germany ahead of us. I think we'll take them over in the next couple of years. We're building I think this country has an opportunity that we can build something great for our future generations. And I think OSM, I think green energy sustainability, and everything I'm talking about here is extremely important. And if you don't do it, I think we'll miss a great opportunity. I'm 55, another 50 years and from now, I would wish that we are living in a much, much better nation. I think the water is an issue which needs to be washed. I think the environment needs to be washed. And I want my future men and women, especially the Nari Shakti of this country, to be able to make this powerful nation. And I think that I just don't want a few families to run this country. There has to be this people down here need to be moved up. They need to be given a better chance. They need to be given a better environment. They need to be given a better healthcare. If you don't have a cleaner and a greener situation, that will lead to bad healthcare. Bad healthcare will affect productivity. It will help the future generations of our country. And I think this is all interlinked. And I think we owe it to them. At least for me, I'll march on this for the next 50 years if I had to.
Yes, I'm going to add this. I had a podcast with Dr. Ramcharan, sir, and my first episode's on Club TV. So he talked about India is on fire, and we have the only opportunity in India. Opportunity is had. So we are opening doors for all the countries.
That's right. I would agree with doctors.
What types of electric vehicles does Omega Seiki manufacture?
Right. That's a very valid question. We started this journey building cargo vehicles. Cargos were the easiest ones to adapt. In India, it's not just about EVs. It's about building, TAT, building, total cost ownership. Total cost ownership models are important because we are very price sensitive. So we were able to convince customers that EV was the right in terms of payload, in terms of range, in terms of gradient, in terms of torque. And we have to continue to see change because the Indian consumer always wants more. They want to pay less. Yes. Everybody in this country wants to buy a Mercedes at a price of a vehicle that is, So this is the dilemma. But I tell you what, if you're able to crack that code, you get a clarity of getting scale. And the Koreans at Hyundai have been able to do it. Maruti Suzuki has done it for a long time. I think that, this is an extremely, extremely important point. So OSM started working on three-wheeler passenger cargo. Then we moved over to three-wheeler passenger. And I think today, the passenger market should be 100% EV because the total cost ownership model works. I think diesel and CNG should be out. I'm very focused on rural India on tier 2, 3, 4 cities because that's where we're going to get scale. So we are working on that. We are almost in the final stages of bringing our one-ton truck. We had built the one-ton truck. We took it back because of the total cost ownership. We are coming up with M1KA, which is going to be priced at 7 lakhs, which is like the ICE vehicle. See, my goal has been continuously to build EVs below the price of ICE, and then you get the saving of the fuel. So we have been able to do three-wheeler cargo, passenger, two-wheeler cargo. We are doing some in passenger. We are working on four-wheelers. Our long-term program is the 3.5-ton truck and the 11-ton truck, which is under development. So we've got a full stack. We're continuously working on multiple new products. I got to be a bit careful. I give you the future lineup. My teams are going to be a bit upset. But we've got a very wide range of products. We are working on fixed, fast charging, swap, 15-minute fast charging. All the new technologies I've had at home with me. So new battery technologies, new powertrains. We are working on this continuously.
Right. So my next question related to this, and as you know that India pushing ethanol and hydrogen, tech visions planning to explore these green fuels in its future vehicle manufacturing. Would you like to put light on it? And how do you see? Would you go to your next venture into this hydrogen?
We've already worked on hydrogen. Look up when you get a chance. Google what we've done. We've been testing hydrogen products. It's called H2X. We tested our hydrogen product. We have a partnership with a French company, and we have been working in France and in Europe testing hydrogen vehicles. We were the first one in the world to come up with a hydrogen three-wheeler. We are doing this on the one-ton truck. We did 800 kilometers in Le Mans and tested it. And so we've had a lot of success. We have been pushing hydrogen in this country. What has happened is there are infrastructure issues still. But yes, we have already got vehicles and technology that can bring hydrogen. I would love to bring hydrogen into this country. It is also how do you put the hydrogen, fuel into scale? Where would be the hydrogen stations be made? So it's still a work in progress. Honorable Minister Gadkariji, we were with them, and he was talking about it. The question is, we need hydrogen stations, we need the infrastructure, but I think the future, yes, I think that's going to always be the case.
Perfect, sir. And my next question to you, so could you talk about any key innovations like your battery tech or digital systems which can be related to?
We've been working on. We just came up with the longest range product, which is OSM NRG for our cargo and passenger. We are clocking हर बार 400 पार तो नहीं, लेकिन 300 पार तो हम कर ही रहे हैं. And we've got Stream City Quick, which is 15-minute fast charging. We're coming up with 15-minute fast charging on any network. We're coming up with many new technologies on battery. We have been working on LFP, NMC, aluminum air. We are working in many areas, but obviously we have to work with what scale LFP is in scale today. We have partnered with multiple partners. We continue to do that on the powertrain side. We have worked with very much new technologies, motors that will give a bigger range, lower cost, higher higher torque, gradient. So we are going to continually develop. This is like Zara, quicker, faster, new designs, new technology. We're disruptors. We got to continually do that. We're working on in terms of our, IoT devices, which can give real time on maintenance, on problems, on locations, on security. I mean, we built 150 different things on our IoT devices. It's a continuous work in process. We are working on we are very close on coming on something on autonomous 3-wheelers and 4-wheelers. We are working on so many new technologies that we come after. I think people have accused us of doing too much and too fast, but that's OSM's DNA. And in the next 6 to 12 months, you'll see a lot more in the works.
Great. Like you emphasize, Zara is a clothing brand. Why is that? Is there something?
The reason Zara is known for is it's quicker, faster. It changes with customer preferences. So what we're doing is we're bringing vehicles, we're changing automotive. So not the same stuff for the next 10 years. We've got to be able to give customers that extra, that extra X factor, the extra product, the extra speed, design, range, continuous development. And I think people will always want more and more and more. If you go to a superstore in India, in the Kirana store, you had only 1 or 2 options. You have 20 options. You want to give so many options to people that they're forced to go to EV. The reason for that being is that will make consumers come towards EV. And if you make them comfortable with EV, my goal of a cleaner and a greener product, as you said, OSM's global role of changing this world on green and sustainability will be achieved.
Let's go to the contribute for the nations. Like, how is Omega Seiki contributing to the Make in India initiative?
Right. 99% of our vehicle is industrial, is India made. We never ever went across the bill. We made sure we worked with suppliers, with partners, with battery tech, with powertrains, with motors, everything. We went and we made. It took us a long time. I burnt a lot of money. It was very painful. I've put a ton of money in work, but I never ever said, let me go to China, let me buy stuff and make to sell product. We will always make in India. We always will be making in India. We will invite partners from Europe, from United States, from Japan, from Korea to join hands with us here to build it right here in this country and to be able to give better products. So we've always been that way, and I can promise you will always be that way.
Yes. So my next question to you, sir, what role does OSM Global play in creating employment and building a skilled workforce in your organization in Delhi and all over?
Very, very important. We have built the factories, obviously, in the north. We have built factories in the west. Omega, the industrial company, has over 17 factories. Thousands of workers are employed. Omega has close to 500 on the books and 500 off the rolls. We're very significant, and it continues to grow with men and women. We've made committed by 2030 to have almost 40% of our workforce as women. a skilled workforce, not just the engineers, but technicians. I spend the whole day and Sunday in the factory with about 50 different technicians from the north and the east who are not, who are not engineers, but they're technicians who have learned on the job, who continually learn. Those 50 will go to another 50, we'll go to another 50, we'll go to our dealerships. So this will how Village will be built. So for me, it is bringing technical skills at the engineering, at electronics, at telemetrics, and also at the technicians. So it has to be the whole 9 yards on this.
Great. Are there any specific regions or communities you are focused on empower?
I am very much focused on empowering Nari Shakti. I think women need to be really, really focused in terms of bringing to the front lines. There are 48% of our population. I am working on tier 2, 3, 4 cities, I think, until we get scale. Obviously, Delhi, Mumbai, Bangalore, Pune, Chennai, all of these cities where Calcutta will have. But it's the tier 3 and the 4 cities, those are the ones that we need to be green and clean. And I want this country to be entire. One of the advantages in farming is electricity is free. So green energy sustainable can even be more sustainable. We just have to build the ecosystem. We have to build the charging. We have to build the technicians. We have to build the parts. So I think this is an extremely important journey. OSM, as I say to a lot of people, this is a marathon, not a sprint. I want to make sure that this is going to be done for a long scale. It's going to be done where we have products for everybody. It's a diverse country. I've learned so much traveling across the length and the breadth of the country. We have been very focused in the north. We are doing the south. We're now hitting the northeast. We are doing the east. So we're putting up a national play. We have about 250 dealers across this country. We've built a network. We are working with our partners on charging. We are working with supply chain partners to bring parts and to make this country green and clean. Great.
What upcoming models or innovation can we expect from Omega Seiki?
I think what you're going to see, and I have to be careful because this is R&D, we are coming up with something very groundbreaking on passenger three-wheelers. I have to be a bit careful about because I said product launches are coming out, but you'll see something very groundbreaking in terms of comfort, in terms of vehicle, in terms of safety, for our women, for our children, for our transportation, for our old age. Our temperatures in country go from 50 degrees to minus. So we want the three-wheeler passengers to feel that they shouldn't be left behind. We are working on trucks, as I said, on the 1 ton, but we are working on the 3.5 ton and 11 ton trucks. We are working on swapping 15-minute fast charging. There's a whole host of stuff coming up. It's something that, I have to be a bit careful because before product launches to talk, but I think you've got a lot of exciting new products. A lot of new technologies are coming. We are coming with CVT technology with actually Coop Japan. It feels like you're driving a damn Honda in a 3-wheeler and a 1-ton truck. So there's a lot of stuff come up. We've got a lot of partnerships, and you'll see OSM every day working in the front lines of green energy and sustainability.
Yes, absolutely. And my next question to you comes from the affordability and accessibility for the E. How is OSM Global working to make EVs more accessible to small businesses and everyday users, like everyday life using, like you said earlier?
Absolutely. We for example, we are really working on range. We are working on load carrying capacity. So, example, we came up with Stream City Quick, which is 15-minute fast charging for passengers. It is clocking an average passenger vehicle clocks 125 to 150 kilometers a day. So they're doing about 3,000 plus. Stream City Quick is clocking 6,000 in Delhi and Bangalore. So your income of your driver is almost double, which is going to make them go more and more electric, which is going to be able to reduce carbon emissions. So you have to continuously come up with product. We just announced a couple of weeks ago, Stream City Energy, which is clocking 300 kilometers in rural India, which means that maybe even 2 days, they don't need to charge. So they need to charge that maybe 3 times a week. So, it creates income, it creates accessibility, it creates green energy sustainability, it creates ecosystem. So, on our one-ton truck, we're building on a 15-minute fast charging or a 12-minute fast charging. We're coming up with a long range. So we are continuously building products in cargo for a bigger load to be able to carry with faster battery technology, to be able to bring robust products, to be able to give low better service for TAT, So all of this combined is changing the face of mobility, and we're doing this across the nation.
What financing or leasing models are available to help expand EV adoption, especially come from the lower middle class?
You're absolutely right. Most of these vehicles are financed. I think 99% of vehicles are financed. We are working with finances nationally and internationally. Interest rates are going down. We are going through a period right now because of some of the wobbles of some of the companies where financing has become a little bit, but I think it's a marathon, not a sprint. It'll come back. It'll be able to be, again, an area where you'll see more and more financing. We are coming on BaaS and mass model battery as a service, mobility as a service, battery financing, battery swapping. There are a host of different models coming, leasing of vehicles, a daily using of vehicles, so many different programs, innovative programs with NBFCs, with banks, with financiers. SIDBI's done a great job. Irada has done a great job. So a lot of work is going on. We say Taj Mahal wasn't built in one day. We want to build Taj Mahal every day in this country. So there's been a lot of work. There's a lot of green plays. So we have to make this nation cleaner and greener. We can't expect Modi ji to clean everything. So I think we all have to put our hand in our pocket. We all have to work together as one country. इस देश की responsibility सिर्फ मोदी जी की नहीं है या ऑनरेबल ट्रांसपोर्ट मिनिस्टर नितिन गडकरी की नहीं है. ये सारे एक एक सिटीजन की है, एक एक महिला और पुरुष और बच्चे की है. और इस जर्नी में हमें सबको काम करना पड़े. हम अपना काम करेंगे, OSM का एब्सोल्युटली योगदान रहेगा, एंड वी विल कंटिन्यू वर्क ऑन दिस. ये देश एक बहुत ही स्ट्रॉन्ग नेशन है. हमारे पास सबसे यंगेस्ट पॉपुलेशन नवयुवक और नवयुवकाएं का है. हमारी लीडरशिप, मैं बता रहा हूँ, नॉट जस्ट सेंट्रल लेवल पे, स्टेट लेवल पे, इस देश में जो लीडरशिप है वो आज हमें सबको ये कह रही है, कठिनाइयां आएंगी, अप्स एंड डाउन्स आएंगी, लेकिन आगे चलते रहो. ठीक है, अक्रॉस द बॉर्डर देयर वाज प्रॉब्लम्स. यू नो व्हाट, देयर इज ऑलवेज अ स्टॉर्म, और स्टॉर्म के बाद आती है सनशाइन. तो मैं आज कह रहा हूं, और मैं आपके सारे दर्शकों को बोलूंगा, देखिए, war, situation with what's happening from the United States, that's all part and parcel. Business, अच्छे कैप्टन शिप को across the ocean लेके जाते हैं. कभी waves ऊपर आती है, नीचे आती है. हमने तो जिंदगी में यही सीखा है. Keep walking forward. So, is the small business going to affect? Yes, but I also think, you sometimes have to take 2 steps back for 4 steps. I still think this country is going to be the 3rd largest economy in the world. This country has got an opportunity. It's got an opportunity to be a world leader, to be proud. 20 years ago, we were not proud Indians. Today, we are. We are looked upon globally. Look at the technology. Look at how our armed forces in defense, in Air Force, in the Navy, defend this country with modern technology. Not one of our planes, not one of our people got hurt. And that tells you, ये देश बहुत different है. And थोड़ा बहुत पेन अगर लेना पड़ा, हमें सबको लेना पड़ता है. And that's India. That's OSM. And I think businesses will rebound. The stock market will rebound. And our desh will be a leader.
And my next question to you, sir, do you have a plan for international expansion? Because already we have OSM Global.
Right. You're absolutely right. In the next couple of months, we have a factory being built. I'm giving you some breaking news. I won't say the location, but in the Middle East, we are building a factory for OSM for Africa and Middle East. I'm off to ASEAN tomorrow night for working on building something in ASEAN for Thailand, Philippines, Malaysia, Indonesia. So we are testing our vehicles in Latin America. So yes, this financial year, you're going to see a lot of activity on OSM Global. Over the next 5 years, 40% of my vehicles will be international, 60% will be India. Our vehicles are testing all across Africa, all across Asia and Latin America. Some very exciting news coming out of the next couple of months in the Middle East, and then another 3 to 6 months in Asia.
Quick. My next question to you, where do you see OSM and India's electric mobility sector in the next decade? What's your future glimpses?
I see OSM continually making a change in terms of green energy sustainability. As I said, new products, new design, changing customers. I hope I'm among the bright lights, but for my biggest goal is to make this country and the world cleaner, greener. That's why I got into this. It wasn't about putting, round A, B, C, D. I didn't know if I had to put so much money. I put so much money of work, in the last 6, 7 years. But I would like OSM to be continually out there. We have fought in the front lines. We have built products in ups and downs. OSM is definitely going to be among the top players in the EV. Not EV, if it's hydrogen, new technologies, green energy and sustainability. And I think we are going to see a world where more and more green products are going to be. And it's not just because I'm saying it. It is the need of the hour. And I think it makes economic sense.
Yes, definitely. And what financing or leasing models are available to help you to expand EV adoption? What financing?
I think, as I said earlier, battery swapping is an extremely important, reduces costs. It's an extremely 15-minute fast charging. But financing capabilities, as I said, battery as a service, mobility as a service, financing of vehicles in terms of, what we need to make sure is the logistic players, the mobility players, those are continually getting financing from whether it's the state banks, whether it's from the BFCs or fintechs, is extremely important. And I think a lot of work has been done by the World Bank and many, many other organizations. There are clean funds in making this happen. But I tell you, in India, we are working on multiple technologies to keep up. Obviously, cost is going to be a factor because if you come up with some technology that is so expensive and we don't have the infrastructure. So India is going to be, let's be honest about this. In the Chinese, in terms of powertrains, batteries, vehicles, and it's not just that the whole ecosystem is far ahead of even the United States. But I think India is catching up. We have a lot of work to do, and you'll see all of that.
Sure. My next question comes from the entrepreneurship and it involves years of hard work, failures, and transitions. How can we better highlight that journey instead of only spotlight overnight success? Like this shows, the Shark Tank shows and all. These shows are, he show you like you can make something and it's overnight.
Can I say something to you? Yes. Shark Tank is okay, but Shark Tank sometimes getting a lot of wrong messages. Can I tell you something? Those sharks, love them. They look like Bollywood stars. But I'll tell you what, money and businesses are not made that quick, right? It is great to see entrepreneurship. It is great to see, that's a tamasha, right? I've nothing against Shark Tank. A lot of people, the public networks make a lot of money. The sharks make a lot of money if you look at it. And some startups do get, and which is good. But I think startups need to understand this is a marathon, not a sprint. It is not just putting ABC. You've got to think about the customer. You've got to think long term. You've got to build long term, and you've got to build a business that is always so. I think, look, I'm not bashing Shark Tank's great. It's entertainment. But I'd say one thing to all of the entrepreneurs: take this as a long-term game. Build a product for long term. Don't cut corners. Don't blow investors' money, and make sure that you play the long game. Only then will you survive. And failure is okay, but don't bring failure by mismanaging. Bring some gray hair. Bring some talented people. Bring your ideas, and until you're going to scale. And just don't burn money to buy customers. It's okay for a while. In the new world, ladies and gentlemen, if you burn money, you're going to be out of game.
Like some of entrepreneurs are, startup companies have spent heavily on luxury homes and cars. which send the wrong message to young entrepreneurs, especially those who are really hardworking on the ground level to build something. So build the brand.
You're I cannot tell you what. But I want to say something. I was on the Arnab show the other day. Arnab's a very interesting character. You're absolutely right. Buying homes, buying luxury jets, showing that that TikTok or that Instagram lifestyle. It's wrong. But can I tell you something? I don't think everybody's bad. I say to everybody, just some of us blow the red light doesn't mean all of us blow the मैं भी ग्रीन लाइट पे रुकता रेड लाइट पे रुकता हूँ आप भी रुकते होंगे मैं अपनी स्टोरी बताता हूँ मैं बड़ी गाड़ियों में चलता था इस इन्वेस्टिंग इस जर्नी में बहुत ही छोटी गाड़ी में चलता हूँ इकोनॉमी में ट्रैवल करता हूँ not everybody's like that. There's a lot of good entrepreneurs. There's a lot of startups. But you're absolutely right. It's sending the wrong message. I see entrepreneurs buy Lamborghinis. I see people as soon as they raise, you know what? Your country 500 रुपए कमाने वालों की भी है इतना मत शो ऑफ करो थोड़ा सा स्टेबल हो नारायण मूर्ति जी से सीखो जोहो के जो फाउंडर हैं उनसे सीखो बहुत सारी ऐसी स्टोरीज भी हैं सो लुक टू ईच हिज ओन मैं ज्ञान नहीं दूंगा बट आई वुड से think about this country just because the US and Europe does it doesn't mean हमारा culture हमारी तहजीब हमारा upbringing different है तो वो चीजें I agree. But not everybody's like that. There's a lot of hardworking entrepreneurs. There are hardworking startups. And I think failure's part of it. There are always going to be some bad villains. Lately, we've heard a lot of bad villains. And I think that, but those bad villains, they're going to end up paying. If you walk that wrong line, आपका अंत, खराब का अंत, खराब ही होता है. और जिंदगी में हमने यही सीखा है. हमारे पूर्वजों ने यही हमें सिखाया है. आज 56 साल चला रहे कंपनी तो हमें तो यही सीखा है बट ठीक listen but I think you're right I think it's been sent as a wrong message and I hope all of the startup people listening to this please be cognizant of the fact that doing and burning investor money or showing off is probably not a good skill.
Yes, it's required sacrifice, it's required hard work, it is more shortcut at all. The last sections of the show and which is final reflections. What's your message to young entrepreneurs in India?
My message to all of your entrepreneurs, to everybody, is think for the long term. Build a business, build a product that has quality, that has sustainability. And it's not just green energy sustainability, is a profitable business with scale. Make sure you're not looking at just round A, B, C, D. You are looking to put your life on the line for your product. And as you said earlier, this is not about just making money. It's about bringing a change. If you believe in it, long term, it can happen. I tell everybody, not everybody is Virat Kohli. Virat Kohli, now retired out of Test cricket. Not everybody gets the applause as an early age. Some of us are Surya Kumar Yadavs, who at an age of working and working and working, get a success at a later stage. That does not mean that अगर मुझे 3-4 साल में सक्सेस नहीं मिला, जो 20 साल काम करता है, कईयों को सक्सेस जल्दी मिलती है, कईयों को सक्सेस लेट मिलती है. अपनी जर्नी में रहो, एक ऑनेस्टी और इंटेग्रिटी से काम करो, सक्सेस मिलेगी. It is not about age, it's about keeping the commitment.
Yes, definitely. Perfectly fine, sir. Won't you like to share one book or movie recommendation to our viewers, which you crossed and which you help you to grow?
I would tell everybody, read Barbarians at the Gate. This is an old book. It talks about how the finance world, how this world of what you see, finance is something that I read it in my Wall Street days. On the movie side, I don't watch much movies, but I'm sure there's multiple others that can be given. But I think for me, a real movie is about those people working on the front lines who are changing and saving our country. जो हमारे soldiers, Navy, Air Force ने किया है, वही मेरे हीरोज हैं, वही मेरी हीरोइंस हैं और मेरे लिए वो सबसे ज़्यादा इम्पोर्टेंट है. उनको मैं देखता हूँ, बहुत प्रोत्साहन मिलता है and honestly gives me a lot of energy.
Great. It's absolute pleasure to talking to you.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Diamond. Thank you. Stay tuned with Club TV for more insights, from more podcasts, and understanding the business world of what is changing India. Jai Hind, Jai Bharat.